Hey, what's up everyone? Tedrick85 here, and in this video I'm going to be celebrating my 2-year anniversary on YouTube, and this also happens to be my 500th video on my channel. And as you can see, there's a software update coming up. That's because I'm going to be celebrating my 2 years by playing Super Mario Maker. As you can see on this title screen here, or should I say this pre-cinematic here, and there's a different cinematic for each day of the week, which I think is pretty cool. Now, one of the things I like about this game is that, much like Mario Paint, the opening title screen here is highly interactive. And I'll show you here exactly what each part does. Tapping the word Super gives you the Starman right here. That M is supposed to reveal a Wario suit if we were actually in Super Mario Brothers mode. You can see the A with the stars, the R with the coins. This I you can use to actually record sounds in that, and it'll play back the sounds you record. O gives you these clown copters right here, which is pretty neat. M drops Fuzzy Bill shells, while the A goes off into space like a rocket. Touching the K actually turns the screen into like an 8-bit Nintendo sounding screen right here, which I actually think is pretty cool. And touch it again, turn off. E gives you a trampoline, and then the R gives you Yoshi eggs. But yeah, you can actually catch yourself playing along with this a lot, and if you touch the left analog stick, you can actually play through this part right here, this stage right here. Mind you, it's not complete, but as a matter of fact, I'm gonna just stick with this. But first I want to show off for 4 game styles in this game. Here's the original Super Mario Brothers game. Here's the style of Super Mario Brothers 3. Here's the one for New Super Mario Brothers U. And then I'm gonna be going back to the one on Super Mario Brothers, just because I happen to like this the most, and there's actually things I want to show you on here. Now, there's 6 different types of areas here. There's the ground, which you see right here. There's the underground. Here's underwater. Now here's a ghost house, which obviously was not in the original game, but pretty cool looking and has good music, along with the airship scene here. Probably my favorite music in this entire game. But I'm gonna stick with the castle just because this is what we were handed at the beginning of the game here. And here's the interface of all the items in that you can put on the screen here while you're making your stuff. Now, while I get things started here, there are a few things I want to talk about in regards to my channel. First and foremost, my Super Mario 3D World playthrough. I am going to be continuing on with that playthrough, but I must say that as soon as I get done with World Bowser, which is the 8th world in that game, I'm going to quit and move on to something else because I just don't want to be playing with that all the time, and it is going to take me a bit of practice for me to do World Star, Mushroom, and Flowers. So after I beat Bowser in World Bowser, I'm just going to take a break from Super Mario 3D World because there are other things that I do want to cover on my channel and that, and one of those is definitely my Mega Man 10 Mega Man mode, which I've been wanting to play that, but I want to make sure that I get my Super Mario 3D World recordings done before I get a chance to do that. And speaking of Mega Man, besides doing Mega Man mode and Mega Man 10, I am tossing around doing Mega Man 5 and 6 for the NES, even though I'm not a real big fan of those 2 games, but I figured I did the first 4, and even if I don't do Mega Man 5 and 6, I do definitely want to play Mega Man 7 for the Super Nintendo, because I do enjoy that game a lot. So, and it's not just Mega Man either that I have planned in the future. I also want to do, probably won't be until around spring or summertime, Spyro or Hero's Tale, which is the Spyro game after Enter the Dragonfly, which was the playthrough that I did this past September, and I'm looking forward to that. I also want to do Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo, since I did Metroid Fusion. Now, I know it is out of order since Metroid Fusion is the fourth game chronologically, and Super Metroid is the third chronologically. But I really did want to play Metroid Fusion because I did like that one more than Super Metroid. But having said that, I do want to do Super Metroid, so... But yeah, that's pretty much it that I want to say. And also, I didn't forget about fun with FIFA 10. I do want to get back to that, but I probably won't be for quite some time until I do that again, so... But yeah, I kind of miss playing soccer on there, but at the same time, there are things that I want to get done here. As you can see, I'm doing a demo right here. I was trying to do something here and it didn't work out. I was actually trying to get where if I was small, then I would get Super Mushroom, and if I was big. And I just forgot how to do that, so... But yeah, as I'm screwing around here, I pretty much wanted to just do that. Now, another thing I should talk about, which I kind of have been avoiding for quite some time. Well, not avoiding, I just haven't gone around to it, but I have not finished my Book 1 vlog of Legend of Korra, and the last entry that I made for that vlog, which was episode 4, A Voice in the Night, that was done almost a year ago. That was done last March, and considering it's February now, that's 11 months since I made an entry, but I do plan on going back to it eventually. I'm not gonna say that it's right away, but I'll get to it. But yeah, that's pretty much it that I wanted to say there, but, as you can see here, if you do the mystery mushroom here, and if you touch it, you can actually access your amiibo costumes or costumes that you've done through the 100 Mario challenge. And for the particular costume I decided to pick was just Samus Aran in her various suit. But yeah, you can pretty much pick anyone that you've already opened or have an amiibo for. You see I'm putting tracks up on here and putting platforms on them, which is pretty cool. Now for these platforms, whether they're mushroom platforms or semi-solid platforms, you just shake them and they'll change the appearance of them. As you can see, they go from red dots to yellow dots to green dots. But that's a pretty cool touch they added on this game. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have already played this game, but if you haven't, my best advice I could give you in terms of playing this game is just have fun with it. You know, the only thing limiting you is your imagination, and I know when I was a kid, I would find myself drawing my own Mario levels on pieces of paper, and that. I actually had a few folders, which I really wish I knew what happened to them, but I used to draw Mario levels a lot whenever I was a kid, wishing I could make my own Mario levels. And when whenever I first heard that this game was coming out, I was so excited because this was right up my alley, and now that a game like this is out, that I'll be able to get a chance to make my own Mario levels and that, and needless to say, since I got this for Christmas, I've been playing it non-stop, which I know I said that in my one update video, but for those of you that are into video game design, or if you're just a fan of the Mario games and like doing your own thing, this is right up your alley, and this definitely brought a smile on my face when I heard that this game was going to be made, so... As you can see there, you shake Bowser and it gives you Bowser Jr., which I think is pretty cool. Shaking the Buzzy Beetles or Spinies give you a shell helmet, which you can place on Mario's head. Unfortunately, you can't shake it and change it back to a Buzzy Beetle or a Spiny. Now here are the semi-solid platforms that I was referring to earlier. And I actually quite like the looks of these that they have, depending on which style that you're playing on. Just simply because there's 3 different kinds here. As you can see here, there's the regular castle, there's the gray brick, and there's the bone one, which I think is pretty cool. Now these spiny tops are the same thing. They don't switch into shell helmets, but they do change color from red to blue. The blue variation is quicker than the red variation. Besides putting different elements on your level that you're designing, I really enjoy the music playing in the background, which is kind of like a remix of sorts of the level theme of what you're playing. And in this case, it's the original Super Mario Bros. Castle. which I think is pretty cool. And shaking this piranha plant makes it into a Venus fire trap. And then, cool thing too, especially if you're a fan of Super Mario Bros. 3, adding a super mushroom on top of certain enemies will make them bigger, as you saw with the Koopas and also with that Venus fire trap. I think that's pretty neat. And with these chain chomps, you can make them either chain or unchained, or should I say posted or unposted. Right now, here's a loose one, which I'm going to change back to a one that's grounded on a post. Now, these signs, you shake them and they become checkpoint flags, especially if you make a longer level. Or if you make a difficult level, you just want to make sure you give the player a fighting chance by putting that midpoint in there. Now, I forget the certain number that you can have on a level, but you can put more than one checkpoint flag on a level depending on length or difficulty. And shaking these Karibo shoes will turn them into stilettos, which I think is a pretty cool touch. Now, these chompers, they don't do anything when you shake them. However, when you do touch them with your stylus, they will release flies, which opens a mini-game for you to play and win some costumes and that you can use on the original Super Mario Bros. Mystery Mushroom. And these wigglers, shake them to make them mad and shake them back to make them happy again. But, same with the music notes, change them to change their appearance. Now, these invisible blocks are pretty cool because you can actually see them when you're posting them on your level whenever you're doing your editing. But once you actually play the level, then obviously you won't see them due to them being invisible. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention too with regards to the Mystery Mushroom. In other styles, they'll be replaced. For instance, Super Mario Bros. 3 is replaced by a Super Leaf. In Super Mario World, it's replaced by a Cape Feather, and in New Super Mario Bros. U, it's replaced by a Piccolo Mushroom. So I think it is pretty cool how they changed the power-up according to what game game style you're using. Now these fire bars, you can change the length of them, and you can also, you see that circle right there and the yellow square right there? You can change it in order for it to move from clockwise to counterclockwise and vice versa. But Bombs, same thing as the Wigglers and most everything else. Just shake them in order for them to change their appearance and their functionality. Same with these bullet bills. These are regular bullet bill blasters, but if you shake them, they turn into homing bullet bill blasters, and you can see it changes the appearance from black to red. Oh, I could listen to this music all day. Okay, let's see. Of course, there's these skull wraps. The white ones collapse after a while, but the blue ones, if you shake them, just keep on going continuously. But they move significantly faster than the white ones, so do be careful about that whenever you're doing any kind of design or platforming or any kind of gimmicks like that. As you can see there, you can add the Super Mushroom to the swamp in order to make it big. I think it's cool how the Thwomp and Boos and the Dry Bones look in the original Mario Bros. Style. I think that's pretty awesome. Of course, if you put wings on something and you realize you don't want them, just shake them. And like most of everything else, you can make your Spiny Tops, your Boos, and your Dry Bones bigger just by adding the Super Mushroom on them. Now, one thing I didn't really mess around with, which I normally don't, is the frog icon on the left. That's for sound effects, and you can place them over enemies or items and that, and they produce a particular effect depending on what you do with them. Now, as these burners, if you shake them, they go off, which is marked with a red outline, and then shake them again to turn them back on. And that's when the level first starts, but I've noticed this really doesn't make much of a difference, so I don't really mess around with it. Now these copter cars, whenever you shake them, they turn into fire copter cars, which I think is pretty cool. Or should I say clown cars, not copter cars. Yeah, they're known as clown cars. Now, here's something that I did want to show off, which I did kind of show off before, but I didn't explain. You can use either multi-grab mode in order to grab more than one item and move them, or you can do copy mode and you can select something that you want to copy onto something else. For instance, I think these statues look really awesome in the castle, and I kind of like the overall decor of them. So, whenever I have designed castle levels in the past, I just went ahead and just made up some ground and then got the statues. As you can see here, you can change whatever hand you're using by just pushing down on the left analog stick, but I prefer to use the Mario hand just simply because it just looks the coolest. Now, accessing that robot right there gives you a chance to either load a previous stage or save this on a new file. But now I'm giving this level a bit of a shot here, and as you can see, here's Samus Aran. And no matter what, every time you get the mystery mushroom, it will always appear as Samus Aran. Just as long as you tap on it and then select your costume before you place it in the question block. If you don't, if you just put the mystery mushroom in the question block, it's a random costume that's pre-selected for you. You don't get the same one each time, so if you do desire the same one, then just simply select it from just tapping on the mystery mushroom. And there's no limit to how many times you can test out your level. You can play it as many times as you want, and you can edit this as many times as you want. Just as long as you feel happy with your level, and then, of course, once you do feel really satisfied about it, then you can upload it onto the Miiverse so other people can play it. As you can see there, each of the castle stages, no matter what game style you're playing as, it will always end with that axe. It won't be a flagpole or a gate like in Super Mario World. And of course there's things that you added before that you don't necessarily want. Push the blue and white box on the right hand side, and that acts as your eraser here. And I know there's been several times where I've been playing in that where I've needed to do that. And if you need to go back to the beginning, which I'll show off again here, all you need to do is just push the S on the bottom of the screen and it'll go back to the start. Or if you want to go to the end of the stage, and you just push the G on the bottom of the screen. Now I should say that the Samus Aran costume doesn't shoot or anything, it's just the costume. And then once you get a power-up, you lose it. Whether it's a Fire Flower, which Fire Flower is the only one that would cause it to disappear, but needless to say, if you get it, then you'll lose your costume. But if you don't want to lose it, then don't grab any Fire Flower. But even with a costume, you can still beat a level, and then, as you can hear from the music right there, it depends on what character you're playing as.
3, 2, 1.
You see right there at the bottom, there's the S and the G. I just pressed the S, and if you ever want to reset a level, just hold down that rocket right there like I just did, and you'll get a reset level. As you can see here, it's pretty rudimentary looking compared to the one I started off with at the title screen. And if you ever want to undo something, just push the dog that's right by the rocket and it'll give you back what you had before, even if you reset everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it that I wanted to show off here, and I know I'm getting close to having this 20-minute long video, so I want to thank you guys so much for watching this. As you can see here, you can, like I stated before, you can play it through even on the title screen, but I really want to thank each and every one of my viewers and subscribers for sticking with me throughout these 2 years. I know I'm having a blast on this channel, and there's much more content to come, so. But yeah, every time I think of something, there's always something else that I want to do and that, so I can see myself doing this kind of thing on my channel for quite some time, even years, so. But yeah, I have no plans of going anywhere. And as long as you guys keep on tuning into my content, I'm going to keep on making stuff, so. Thank you guys so much again for watching this. I hope you had fun watching what I did here, and I will be seeing you guys again next time.